What's going on, beautiful people out there on the internet? My name is Ace and welcome back to another video. In this one, as you can probably tell, we will be covering all the changes to A.C.E.S MC in the most recent 1.0.6 update. A little change to this format right off the gate. We're actually doing this in the mod pack that I play the Let's Play in instead of my beta test world, because I have already begun work on the next 1.0.7 update, and it takes place in 1.21.1, and this is 1.20.1. so just in case there were some issues or transfer or any problems like that, I decided to record this video in this format. We actually got a beautiful seat here. You see these beautiful mountains behind me and this jungle, and I'm actually on a stony shore. This is it's like an absolutely beautiful seed. But first things first that we need to talk about, I just want to apologize for the extreme delay between update 1.0.5 and 1.0.6. My life got really busy over the last month or two and only just recently settled, and on top of all that, the platform I used to develop the mod also recently received an update, which also delayed the release of this update. And during that time, we actually managed to hit 50 subscribers on YouTube, which is absolutely bananas. So if you haven't seen it, I did, to celebrate the achievement, I issued a challenge to everyone out on the YouTube sphere, stating that for every new subscriber we got between the time between the time that I posted the video and the new update 1.0.6 was released, I would add one new thing to the new mod. And well, sure enough, over that time we actually hit 55 subscribers, which means that the next 1.0.7 update for A.C.E.S MC Overhaul will contain about 55 new items, so you can expect a lot of new things in 1.0.7. In fact, so many new things that I actually plan on streaming most of the content when I am making stuff and adding stuff to the mod for the first time ever. You can watch me and come along with me as I build and design the mod. All you do is give me a good follow on Twitch. You can find the link on my channel page, or I believe it's Ace, the same as it is on YouTube. So it should be pretty easy to find, just twitch.tv/theace, I believe. Or you can just go to my YouTube channel page, and the link is right there in the About Me description. But without further ado, let's get into 1.0.6 and all the new things. So first and foremost with this update is a warning. Just like the 1.0.2 update, I had to delete a couple of blocks and then reintegrate them in different ways to convert them to using new block states, which should decrease the size and file size of the mod and increase runtime and stuff like that. But it does mean that if you have any planted modded crops or a crucible that is actively running or a couple other block items and whatnot, they will be deleted when you load up the new world with the new not new world, your old world, with the new version of the mod. So just be aware of that, and if you want the full list, go to either the Mcreator website or the CurseForge site that you downloaded it from. Scroll down to the changelog and you can see a full list of all blocks that should be affected, that might be deleted if you update to the new version. Our first set of new items is two new types of cage lights. So before we had aluminum cage lights, well, let me go over here and type in cage light. We had aluminum cage lights and copper cage lights, but now we also have nickel cage lights down here and tin cage lights. So if we go in here and type in copper, you'll probably notice that copper is a decorative metal. I've actually added 3 metals myself. Before, the only one that kind of was in parity was aluminum, but now nickel and tin, the other two, have also been caught up and have their own decorative cage lights. So you can see they turn on and off just the same way as the other ones do, and I got to say, I really love the way they look when they're turned on, especially these nickel ones. Although the whole matte monocolor light is I don't know, I'm not as big of a fan of it now as I used to be, so I might take the matte monochrome coloring in there and just kind of give it a little bit of detailing. We also now have a brown colored desk lamp, and you know what, I never noticed that you can look right through the corner of that, but I guess it's only when you're hovering over it. Maybe all blocks do that? Let's see. Nope. That's definitely something weirdness going on, but It's honestly not a huge deal, but we now have a brown desk lamp to match all the other colors. Previously, brown was the only color desk lamp that was missing, so now it's here. We also have a brand new type of stone variant in this version, and this is limestone. So this stuff right here, limestone, will spawn naturally underground, and you can find this stuff, I believe, in any water type biome, so any the lush caves, as well as any ocean tagged or river tagged biome. This can generate underneath them. I'm only just now realizing that my pebble texture, while it does line up side to side, it doesn't line up bottom to top. So if you look at it from the side here, you can kind of see very clearly when it breaks. And that's a problem. Although it does run just fine side to side, so I'm gonna have to tweak that texture ever so slightly. But you can see we've got it fully integrated. We've got the regular block, the wall, the slabs, the stairs here. We even have corners and halves, although there is a bit of a bug right now where the corners are not rotating properly, and neither are the halves. They are not rotating properly. They just they have no rotation. Same with the polished versions. So we do have to we're gonna have to mark that down as a bug and fix that in the next update. Real quick, here's a better look at the polished limestone textures. Now the border for this is a little bit solid, so I might go in there and tweak up the border just a little bit. But other than that, I am pretty happy with how these textures turned out, and they'll pretty much stay the same. And our next addition is something that I personally think is really freaking cool, as it is a new type of amethyst geode. Now obviously these are not called amethyst geodes, these are called malachite geodes, and as you can see, they are made of malachite or budding malachite, the same way that's made of amethyst or budding amethyst, and you can just barely tell the difference between budding malachite and regular malachite when you're in here all the same. The budding malachite has chance to spawn these malachite clusters or malachite buds, which you can of course get with Silk Touch, which actually looks like they're not appearing in the GUI menu, which is another bug, and that's actually going to be a huge problem because that's a easy way to fill up someone's inventory without them noticing that their inventory is full. But if you break it without Silk Touch, you can also get this malachite dust. Now malachite dust can be used to advance the oxidation stage of copper. So if I right click on each of these things with malachite dust, it should advance the stage, and if I put it in my offhand, it should work, yeah, just the same. If we go back in the creative menu and type malachite once more, you'll notice that we have the malachite stairs, corners, slabs, and halves, just as we do amethyst, and we also have this cut malachite. Now this has not been fully integrated. It's something I was actually just messing around with when the update came out, and then I had to rush this version out really quickly because it was getting to be too late, so I didn't get to finish all this stuff. But basically it's just malachite that has been smoothed over and is designed a little bit more for building, so it gives you another block in this kind of palette or color to work with, something that's just a bit smoother. And it's also something I'm planning on doing with amethyst as well. It'll probably end up getting fully integrated, meaning that you'll have slabs and halves and corner variants, but for now it's just like this. And I'm pretty sure, yeah, so my malachite corners and my malachite halves they're working just fine. And just real quick, one last thing I forgot to say that you might have noticed is that this limestone generates around the border where the calcite would normally be on a amethyst geode. I'm also just now noticing that it seems like limestone halves are generating underground. Yeah, that's what this would be, isn't it? Just a big patch of limestone halves, which probably means that limestone corners are generating underground as well. And polished ones, yeah. And these are probably limestone corners. So that's another bug, something that will definitely get fixed in the next update. But that'll do it for the additions for this version, so we can move right on to bug fixes. Now, the first bug fix is that diamond tier ores such as platinum, titanium, or ruby are no longer spawning in just absolutely gigantic quantities very frequently underground. If you were playing in the old version, yeah, maybe go around looking for those, because it happened way more than you think. About once every chunk there was some sort of giant diamond tier ore vein patch. Although now it is incredibly, incredibly rare, although they do still spawn the same way that diamonds can technically have a chance of spawning in gigantic patches, although it is incredibly rare. The next fix is regarding tool kits, boxes, and chests. Whereas before they would not hold the new types of sickle variants, now every type of sickle can go in every type of kit, chest, etc. If I go ahead and open up this stuff and put this in there, and then this, and then this in there, you'll notice, yep, they all go in every single type. So there was a long-term glitch involving double tall crops, where when you bone mealed them, they would do exactly what they just did, which is have weird visuals and then go back. But I had this fixed. It's listed as fixed on here, although I'm definitely still seeing that. I don't know if you're seeing that, but I'm definitely still seeing a brief double tall and then it go away. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave that as a bug and remove that from the bug fixes. So the next bug fix involves dispensers and all of our ranged throwable items. So if we just go ahead and throw an egg sack in there, put a lever here, you'll notice it now properly spits the egg sack as a projectile and it spawns the spiderlings properly, whereas before it would just kind of drop the egg sack on the ground as if it was a dropper. Same deal if we go in here with our splash potions. You can see that they now get thrown out. And the spud bomb actually does not work, it seems. Does the TNT work? Yes, although it doesn't seem to explode properly. Let's see here. Okay, I'm silly. I actually just thought about it, and the spud bomb is working properly. It shouldn't get dispensed from a dispenser because that's not how the spud bomb works to begin with. But if I just put some dynamite in here, that does indeed seem as though it is being shot out. Otherwise, it would land, right? Although it doesn't seem to be exploding, which does seem to be a bit of a bug. That's not how that should work. Just like TNT, it should explode properly. So we're gonna have to work on that. But the smoke bomb does not work at all. So that is also something that is still bugged. The smoke bomb is just being spit out. It is not being properly dispensed. But last but not least should be the XP bucket, which is also being spit out, not placing XP on the ground. So it looks like we still have some issues with the dynamite, the smoke bomb, and the XP bucket. However, the next bug I know has definitely been changed, as I put a ton of work into it, and that is changing all of the mob sounds so that they are now localized. So, yep, just as I thought, if I quiet down here, not only are these penguins just a lot quieter than they were before to begin with, but if I move away from them, they get even quieter still because their sounds are now localized to them and don't just play directly in the player's ears. That's not just the penguins, that is actually every single entity and every single custom sound that I have added, so they are all now fixed. The problem was that they were saved and downloaded as stereo sounds, so they would just play directly in both headphones, whereas now they are mono sounds and can be played locally. It's just a weird Minecraft thing, and if that went over your head, don't even worry about it, but these critters should not be nearly as annoying as they once were. And last but not least, we have some improvement to our demonic enchantment, whereas before demonic 5 and demonic 4 just didn't work because I originally only had it go up to 3 and then added 4 and 5 but forgot to add functionality for them. Demonic 4 and demonic 5 should properly increase your damage against nether type mobs, whereas before they were totally useless. But that is all of our bugs that have been fixed, which moves us right along into changes. So we're going to start with the biggest set of changes, which is the new block states, and it's all gone. Alright, I've typed it all out. Again, the first thing that got new block states were the bushes. That is the essence berry bush and the blueberry bush. That is now one block and has block states for its advancement stages. So I believe if you have baby, the smallest versions of bushes, they won't be deleted. But actually, really thinking about it, I'm pretty sure all blueberry bushes and all essence berry bushes will be absolutely deleted and will have to be replaced with new versions. Same with crops. Crops have been completely overhauled and changed to the new block state. So any crops that you have placed will be deleted and overhauled to the new versions, but the crop loot and the seeds and whatnot, you can just hang on to that. None of that will be deleted. The redstone counters, if you have any versions of the counter that is charged, if it is holding a charge, it will be deleted, but if it is not holding a charge, your redstone counter should be safe. Your heat sensor should be deleted if it is on or activated. Your crucible will be deleted if it is on or activated. Your bathtub, I believe, will be deleted if it is full, but not deleted if it is empty. I could be wrong about that, though. The cage lights will be deleted if they are on, but will remain if they are off. Same with the light bulbs, the light fixtures, and the redstone lamps. And all of your hellthorn vines should be safe, except the very end, the last piece, should be deleted and changed to new block state. So if it is only one block long, your hellthorn vine will be deleted, but if it is multiple, it will just be cut down by one length. As far as how block states work in all this, it's all just technical jargon and mumbo jumbo, so I'm not going to bother explaining it to you, but if you want to know how it all works, feel free to tune into my live streams where we are working on the 1.0.7 video together, or next update together, and I'd love to explain it to you. All of these creatures now drop cooked meat when killed with fire damage. So you can see here, if I kill this guy, he drops cooked wolf meat. If I kill this squirrel, he drops cooked squirrel meat. The goat now drops cooked goat. The elephants, of course, dropped cooked elephant. The bucks dropped cooked venison, as you can see right there. Same with the does. And the crabs also dropped cooked crab meat. There we go, cooked crab. And the beavers also dropped cooked meat when killed with flame. Now, there is a bit of a bug with all these creatures where if I kill them with fire, not like an item enchanted with fire aspect, as you can see here, they still don't work. It's a glitch with Mcreator or GeckoLib, something I can't fix. It's not my fault. It's not my well, I guess it is my problem, but it's not my fault. So if it doesn't work all the time and it only works sometimes and it's being weird, I'm sorry about that. I'm doing the best I can. If you play with subtitles on, I have actually tweaked the subtitles. So if you sit here and listen for the Galapagos penguins to make noise, which, yep, you can see there, I've tweaked it slightly to better match the vanilla counterparts. Now gives an accurate description of what the animal noise is called, and the syntax is the same as what vanilla would be. Ducklings now have custom sounds, the little baby ducks, whereas before they didn't. So you can hear that is ever so slightly higher pitch than that right there. I believe they used to sound the exact same, but now the ducklings, you can see they have their own special little sounds. Another big change to the files, I removed duplicated vanilla textures, whereas before if I wanted to add, let's say, a dirt item, I had to create the dirt texture and re-add it to the mod instead of just referencing the vanilla dirt texture. All vanilla textures are now referenced naturally, which has also shrunk the mod by quite a great deal. You'll notice that despite adding several new things to this version, it's actually shrunk by over 1 megabyte, which, I mean, is not a ton, but for the size of the mod is like relatively is like a huge difference. I've also changed several item flavor text to better match the vanilla counterpart, so you can see now the grenade is grayed out, just as it should be. There's a bunch of other changes like this as well. I believe if I go in the critters part of the mod and hover over the flamingo wings, they have, better text, as you can see. And if I go over to the agriculture part and hover over the sickles, you'll see that they also now have a flavor text that say destroys crops in a 3x3 area, although it looks like I have to give it to the stone ones still, and it's all colored out the proper way. The imp staff's projectile now has a charge time, so if you don't charge it up beforehand, you can see it's not really going to go far. If I just kind of spam click it, it just kind of barely tosses that fireball anywhere. But if I go ahead and hold it down, I can pretty much snipe that duck all the way from over here. Although you'll notice, because this thing is not enchanted, it gives me raw duck. That's what I was talking about earlier. I've also tweaked all of the cheese textures here, the wheel of cheese, the slice of cheese, and the piece of cheese. Although, actually, I think I think the slice of cheese is not changed. I also tweaked the butter texture right here, the stick of butter, although I'm still not completely sold on it, as well as tweaking the damned trapdoor texture. So now it's a little bit clearer to see that it is meant to be a piglin face on there. I think it just looks a little bit nicer. I also tweaked the cooked and raw duck textures. As you can see here, I think the saturation has gone up and they look a lot better in my opinion. And one last change with the sickles, they now actually take more damage depending on how many crops are successfully broken. So if you successfully break all crops in a 3x3 area, it's actually going to take 9 damage. So it's a little bit more balanced. I'm actually noticing here that I started to change the name of the redstone counters here and move it into the flavor text, although I don't seem to have done that for every one, so I should change that for these two. Although honestly, let me know what you all think. Should I do it this way or should I do it this way? I think this way is a little bit more clear, but this one fits a little bit more with what vanilla Minecraft would be. Either way, these counters now have a mild delay after releasing their charge before they can receive the next one. This just kind of helps prevent bugginess and weirdness. So you do have to just have a very, very slight, I think it's like not even a full second delay after they release their charge before they can receive a new one. Heat sensors now emit light when activated. So if you look very closely, you might be able to tell that that is bright. Although it is a lot more obvious at nighttime. It is only a light level of 7, so it is pretty faint, but you can see that it does indeed emit a light source when it is hot. We've also made it so that blinds now successfully block light, so you can see as I close these blinds, it's going to get darker and darker in here until they're all closed, and it is not completely black because they still emit or let some light through, but they do block the light by 10, or they decrease that light level by 10, so it makes it much, much darker in here, whereas before, if we had it like this, it was just completely bright in here and that looked a little weird. Now that does create some weird shadowing every now and then, as you can probably see. If I have these closed, it creates a weird shadowing effect on the wall right here, and especially if I have a roof above them or a wall here, it can sometimes create some weird shadowing effects, but honestly, lighting in Minecraft is always weird, and what can you do about it? I've also completely removed cut lapis. I just didn't like the way it looked, and maybe I'll add it back, maybe I won't, I have no idea. In previous versions of the mod, there was a modded version of cracked nether bricks because I didn't realize they were already in the game, so that has been fixed and deleted. I've also rearranged several creative menu items, most notably the decorations right here. Ducklings hatched from these duck eggs now spawn more accurately to where the duck egg landed. Instead of being off in the corner, you can see that it is now much more accurate to where it was before. Duck eggs also now have their own egg breaking particles that you can see as well. And you can also now shear azalea trees. So if I shear that there, I'll get an azalea leaf and a dead bush. And if I shear this here, I'll get a flowering azalea leaf and a dead bush. And if I shear this, I once again get an azalea leaf and a dead bush. So dead bushes are now actually completely renewable, which is pretty cool. And our last couple changes here are that beavers and crabs now have the ability to drop more loot with looting. It used to be that their loot was just a higher chance of dropping when you killed them with looting, but now it's actually you get more loot. It's not a higher chance of dropping though. It's just the same, which is more akin to how looting actually works in vanilla game. And our white-tailed buck and white-tailed doe and fawn, which actually fawns don't drop anything, so forget that. These guys can now have looting applied to them when they are killed, whereas before, for I don't know, some reason, I guess I just forgot and never fixed it, these guys would just absolutely never have, like, looting just didn't work, whereas now it does, which is a lot nicer. But that is going to do it for this episode, because all of the bugs that were added in this version we actually just discovered together on screen, so we've kind of already covered them. All the other existing bugs that were not fixed are obviously still in the game, and if you really want to read the full changelog, you can always do that on the Mcreator website or the CurseForge website, whichever one you downloaded it from. But without further ado, please do keep in mind to follow my Twitch to watch for all of the new content in 1.0.7. I've got some big plans coming in the future, so if you enjoyed and if you're a fan of the mod, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you all next time. Peace out.